Well, hello, beautiful friends. It's Lynette here, and I want to bring you a video today of how to make some bows. This channel here is focused on a home that was built in 1842, so hence the name Garden 1842 and Home. We mainly do gardening, but it's getting cold outside, you guys. I think it's like 55 degrees today, and we're supposed to get really, really cold coming soon. So it's getting Christmas crazy around here, and I decided I want to make a bow. And guess what? I'm going to make it out of packaging in your boxes. So I had my mother-in-law save me. She gets this kind of packaging every month. So I had a big garbage bag full, and I think I can make some really big bows. Have you guys seen all those bows on YouTube? The really big ones? That's what we're gonna do. Rosie! Okay, so the first thing I did was straight at this end, and I wanted it to be at an angle so that this can be our bow coming down. And so what I did was I cut the plastic, and then I took my knife, and because this foam inside is pretty dense, scissors were not going through it. So I took my knife and I made it at an angle. Then what I did was I took the plastic and wrapped it back up. And the reason I'm leaving the plastic on is because the material that I'm using is a little opaque. So underneath it is like a gray, and I didn't want that, so I'm gonna see if the white will look good. So I wanna cover this with some fabric. So this is the fabric I chose, and it's because I got this last year at Hobby Lobby for 90% off, and I had one roll left. So I'm hoping and praying I have enough, you guys, to get this covered up. And the other reason I want to use this is because this is a bow for my Christmas tree, which I'm going to give you guys a little peek of it. And this matches what I put on my Christmas tree. So my tools that I think I want to use today are going to be zip ties, hot glue, possibly some wire, scissors, tape, and my hot glue gun. So what I did was I cut a piece of my fabric, and I'm going to take my hot glue gun. I'm not going to use very much because, we're adhering it to plastic. And I'm just going to go around. Okay, so I went and I hot glued all the edges. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to kind of wrap this maybe like I would a package. And I'm not going to worry about the back side of this part because, I'll probably only use this 1 year, and then maybe reconstruct it next year with another fabric if I love it. That will match next year's theme. And you're reusing something that would have went into the landfill, because I don't know if we recycle here, but I don't know if this is, recyclable material. I don't think it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with my corners like a present. Maybe give it a little dab of glue. I'm not a neat crafter, you guys. Sorry. Whatever gets the job done, right? All right, so there we go. We have our first tail done. Okay, so for the actual part that's going to be the bow, I need to cover the entire plastic. So I'm going to measure out, enough to go all the way around. And then the reason I need to do that is because when you put this on it and you come around to make your bow, you're going to see the inside a little bit. So that's why I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get this done and I'll come back to you. All right, guys, so now I have everything covered, and we're just going to take not the part that has the angle, but the other two pieces, and we're going to fold them in two. And this is going to be one side of our bow here. And then what I want to do is because we want to make it look like it's a bow. So we want to clench this in and it kind of puffs this out like a loopy sorta, like that. And I'm gonna use a zip tie to do that. Really smash this together. I might need some help from a family member or a bigger zip tie. Yeah, I think I need a bigger zip tie. Okay, so I think the electrical tape might have actually worked better. I'm gonna put a little bit more on it, and we're not gonna worry about seeing this because I have an idea for, you know, the middle of the bow. I saved a tiny piece of fabric, so hopefully I have enough. I kind of started to run out of fabric. Okay, so let me get the other one like this, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, can you guys see it coming together here? You definitely want to clench your ends together because you want it to make it look like you tied a really big bow. Okay, and so now what I want to do is take the tails and kind of do the same thing. Okay, so we want to be sure that we are taking our tails and our angles are correct at the bottom. You know, it looks like we cut it at an angle. And then what we need to do is zip tie or tape the tops of these tails to make it look like it got tied up in with the other part of the bow. Okay, so I definitely think this zip tie will work because it's only one layer. We're just gonna scrunch it together. Grab your zip tie. You never know which way this goes in until I do it a few times. I think I got it. And I'm gonna kind of go to the edge a little because I don't want too much of a, you know, bulk in the middle. And then we're just gonna squeeze tight. Keep squeezing. And we have it, and it kind of looks like it, you know, is in a clump like you would if you made a bow. And then we can just cut the zip tie off. And then I'll do the other one. I'll be right back. So now we need to figure out a way and try to attach this. Okay, so I do think I'm going to use some of my hot glue. And you're just going to take a very big, generous glob. As much as you can get on there. And we're just going to sort of adhere these together. Then I do believe after that dries, I'm going to hold it for, you know, a good minute. And after this dries, I'm going to take a bunch of electrical tape. If you guys haven't used electrical tape for crafting, I love it. And like if I'm attaching something to like my mantle or like a picture frame or something you don't want to ruin, it's easily to come back off. Okay, so we hot glued that, and now I'm just going to take my electrical tape and really kind of cinch it together still, you guys. You know, we want that to look like we actually tied this bow. And you know, like I said, this is only for this year. So you know, next year I can maybe cover this with a different fabric. And I bought some plaid tablecloths that I'm thinking about making some to go outside. Okay, so what I've decided to do is do the same thing with my tails. I want to use my hot glue to glue these tails together. My hot glue gun is not working the greatest today. I just told my husband I might need another one. I love this Ryobi hot glue gun, but for some reason when I clamp it down in there, the light's not coming on every time. Okay, so I think I want this angle coming down. I sort of like that. So we're just gonna do the same thing, you guys. We're gonna a bunch of glue. Go crazy with your glue. And what I love about this kind of burlappy material. It's very, very forgiving if you get glue on it. And then we're just gonna hold this for quite some time. All right, you guys, we're getting there. So now what I think I wanna do is, before I put the fabric over this section here, I wanna go ahead and put a piece of wire around it for the back so that when I hang it on the tree, I'll have something to kind of loop it around. And then I think my best bet is to just take this and hot glue it like that. Okay, so I got my wire. I'm just gonna twist it around the middle, and then on the back, just twist it evenly so that it's even. And then I'll make a little, loop, a little circle so that it can attach to one of the branches on the Christmas tree. Now I have one little piece of fabric I saved. So I took my little piece of fabric that I had and folded it in two. And then I'm just gonna gently pull this around. I don't want it to go like that. I want it to be sort of thick and kind of like that. And I'm gonna hot glue it on the back. Okay, so I've been playing with the positioning, and I think I like this position. So we're just gonna, take our little tails and place it right like that. Make sure it's kind of straight how you want it before you start gluing it. All right, and this is where we're gonna need a lot more hot glue. Oops, I think I need another glue stick. Hold on. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a whole lot of glue in here, you guys. I think I got my glue stick going. And we're just gonna put as much glue in there as you possibly can, you guys. Scrunch it down. And I have a bow now for my tree. Now, this was a bit time consuming, you guys. I didn't think it was going to take me this long, but I love it. And I don't think I'll reconstruct it. I think I'll try to find a place to store this for next year, because I thought, maybe I would put a different fabric on it, but I sort of just love this. And I use a lot of plaid. Now, last year I ventured out and I did a lot of pink and pastel colors. And I'll have Nikki put a little bit of our Christmas tree in our living room up from last year to show you guys. And I want to take this bow once it, gets dried and give you a sneak peek of my Christmas tree for this year. We've been working really hard. It's getting crazy Christmas around here. And if you haven't seen our video, Nikki and I did our TV room. You have to check that out. I'm gonna go put this on the tree, or kind of put it on the tree, and show you guys how it's gonna look. Okay, I'm not gonna hang it, but this is a sneak peek, you guys, of my Christmas tree and how this bow is gonna look. I'm gonna either hang it on the side or go all the way to the top, but it's kind of heavy, so I think the side's gonna be the way to go here. I might have to take some wire around that wire and go around the whole entire tree, we'll see. But I love it. Took a quick break and got my kitchen cleaned up. We had tacos for dinner. So I have an inspiration pick for this next bow. So what I did was I bought these placemats. They were on Amazon. I think I got 4 for $9.99 maybe. And what I want to do, I'll have Nikki put the inspiration picture on the screen, and I want to make some bows to go on my stools here in my kitchen. And so what I did was I took this placemat and I just used scissors to rip the thread, and now you have a pocket. So You guys can make pillows out of placemats. Today we're gonna make a bow. I had more of that packing and I thought, oh, the square packing might fit perfectly inside of a placemat. So we're just gonna slide this in here. And if you know how to sew, you guys can sew this up. I'm just gonna use hot glue because I'm not a sewer. Nikki's a sewer, but Nikki's not here right now, so we gotta go with what we got. So I think what I'll do is I want it to still look like this side here. Like there's a, you know, I don't want it to be like that. I want to try to figure out if I can make it look like there's still an edge here. I gotta figure this out, you guys. Okay, so I think I figured it out. So I'm just gonna take where that fold is right there and fold it back underneath. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hot glue all this back together. And this way, this will give us the illusion that it's still, you know, sewn the way it originally was sewn. Okay, so now all we need to do is hot glue this back down so that we have a little, almost like a little pillow. You know, and this is the back side. So you know how I always say, things don't always have to be so perfect. You know, you just gotta try. And then, you know, if it's a little messy, who cares, right? Okay, I'm back. Hot glued it all in, so it's stuck, you know, just like a little pillow here. Then what I want to do is scrunch this together and then use my zip tie again to come around. Just want to make sure I'm in the middle. Yeah, I think that's in the middle. Okay, see if I can do this by myself. Always easier to have a friend helping you. So this looks almost exactly like the inspiration bow. And then what we'll do is I'm going to pull these edges out. Okay. And then we'll maybe tighten it a little bit more and I'll cut this off and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I did scrunch this zip tie really tight because I liked kind of that look. And then this came in a 4-pack, so I have an extra piece. And what I'll do is I'll cut down here, glue that together, and then this will be my middle section. And then I'll just glue this together. I don't even know if you need to, but that way we'll have a nice edge here. Oh, my glue. My glue gun. Glue gun problems today, you guys. That get hot for a minute. Cut off our extra little threads coming off here. Okay, so we have our bow. I'm gonna cut this zip tie off. Rosie, it's okay. And then I'm just gonna take that piece of fabric and hot glue it around like that. Rosie, Rosie, Rosie. Videoing. I guess Rosie doesn't care. But her mama is videoing. Look how adorable that is. And you guys, this could just be a pillow on your couch or like maybe a little tiny pillow on a bed. So, but I want to show you what I had in mind for it. And I should have put a zip tie through this. I might try to take it apart and put a zip tie on the back of it so I can hook it to my stool. Well, that was easy. I just stuck a zip tie through there and I'll just do that. I'll leave it like this for now. And then if I need it to go tighter, which probably will, I'll put it tighter when I attach it to the stool. This is my stool that I was talking about. And voila. Isn't that adorable? Oh, I think that's cute, you guys. What do you guys think? Well, thank you guys for joining me on the bow tutorial. We might throw a few other little bows that we made last year in this video. And I'll have Nikki also show you how different this tree is than my last year's tree. And I also wanted to show you the little plastic tablecloths. And I thought I have enough, I think, to make another bow. And how cool would that be? If you guys have followed me, I have a flat roof with a railing. And I thought maybe in the middle of that flat roof with a plastic bow so the rain and the snow won't ruin it. Thanks guys for joining us today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And make sure that you find something that you can cover and maybe make a bow at your home, because you guys can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, remember that. And you can make things. I mean, I bought a bow last year. I got it for 90% off at Hobby Lobby and it was $9.99, but it was normally $99.99. And I think I like this one a little bit better, to be honest. So if you don't think you can do it, you just have to try. So go find your passion today. Thank you guys.